There you go.
Thank
Now
you.
I started it. Yeah.
Okay, lesson 101 is not really a lesson that I can actually teach you how to do.
What?
It's really just you understanding how the problem is written or how the word. Y'all got it?
We got it now.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so for example, everybody look at page 703. Okay, 703. And we're just going to kind of talk this through because, like I said, there's really not anything to teach on this first part of this lesson. Okay? But the second part of this lesson, I believe, yeah, I'll be able to teach you about. Yeah. Okay, so what I want you to see, everybody look on page 703. Everybody looking at that? Okay, look at the bottom. All right. The first one that we read, they're going to give us a phrase, and we're going to make it into a mathematical equation. Okay? So, for example, twice a number. Twice a number. Twice a number. Makes pretty sense. What does that actually mean, though?
2 times.
2 times whatever the number is. 5, 8, 12, whatever. Okay, so if you hear it's twice a number, this is the equation you're going to write. Okay? All right, let's try the next one. This one is kind of a little bit more confusing. Okay? It says 5 more than a number. Okay? Now, you may think you would write that 5 more than a number. Okay? That's how you think you would say that, but it's actually written like this because I have a number and 5 more. So I have 5 more than a number. So this is the correct way to write that. It's not as important that you know that this is the exact way to write it right now, but you're going to continue doing these, and it's going to get harder, and you're going to need to know that information. So when you hear 5 more than a number, this actually shows 5 more than the number. This one is the reversal. It may sound like you should say 5 more than a number, but the way, if I was to say 8, I have 8, and then I said I need 5 more than that, you would say plus 5, right? So pretend like you have numbers in there. So the correct way to write the second one is 5 more than a number is this way. Does everybody see how that makes sense? All right. Now, the next one says 3 less than a number. Now this one's really important because let's say I have a number and then I want 3 less than that, then I would put minus 3. That makes sense, right? Mm-hmm. So instead of this number that I made up, we're going to put an N in there. Okay? So the way you would see this phrase is 3 less than a number. Does everybody see how this shows 3 less than a number?
The number is always in front of.
Not always, because
I mean, for those.
For these ones, for the pluses and minuses, yes. Okay. All right, this one's pretty simple. The next one is half a number. Okay, so a number divided by 2, halved. Okay, or you could say half of a number. They're both going to turn out the same answer. Okay, but if my number's 8 and I want half of it, I would divide it by 2, right? That makes sense? Everybody gets that? Mm-hmm. So, this would be the correct way to write it, or you could write it like this. I don't care. All right. Everybody staying with me so far? Okay, the next one is, here's what it says. The product of, I'm going to write this one out. The product of a number and 7. Okay, knowing that it's the product of, what does that tell us?
It's going to be like multiplied.
You're going to be multiplying. And what do they want us to multiply? A number and 7. Okay? If this said the sum of a number and 7, then we would have went 7 plus n. Everybody understand that? So this was very important because this was our key word. Okay? So it wasn't the sum of. We didn't have to do an adding.
Product means timesing.
What?
Product, you multiply.
You multiply, Yep. Sum is adding. Difference If it tells you to find the difference of something, it's subtracting. If it tells you to find the quotient, it's dividing. If it tells you to find the product, it's multiplying. If you do not know those, you need to. Okay, if they say find the difference, you're going to subtract. Find the sum, you're going to add. Find the quotient, you're going to divide. Find the product, you're going to multiply. Got it? Okay. Then I think the last one says this. 17. I'm going to write this one out too. 17 is 5 more than, what is it?
Twice a number.
Oh dear, I didn't hear. What did you say?
Twice a number.
Twice a number. Twice a number. Okay, so this is the equation they say. Okay, is, what do you think that means?
Equals.
Equals. I'm going to change that right now. 16. What should I put for 16? The number.
That's
17. 17. Sorry. The number 17, I'm going to put 17. Now, the next one says 5 more than what? Twice a number. Now remember these 5 more than, where does it come? It goes at the end, right? So I have twice a number, which makes sense like that, and then I need 5 more than that, plus 5. Does everybody understand? So the final answer would be that. Okay? It's not really a whole lot to teach. You just got to kind of understand what it's saying. So these 5 more than are always after, because we need 5 more than to go at the end, because it's telling us something that goes at the beginning, and then it's 5 more than that. Okay? Does everybody understand why this goes here? Because it's 5 more than this. Got it? Okay, everybody see that twice a number is this? Okay, that is the first part of that lesson. Now let's do some of the problems, okay? Help me out with this one. It says, if 5, oh dear, okay, I'm going to have to write this out again, just so y'all can see it. If 5 less than, you may want to write this down too, twice a number is 17, what is the number? We're basically going to answer our equation. That's basically what they're telling us. If 5 less than twice a number is 17, what is the number? What is the end? Okay? So, twice a number. Okay, so let's figure this out. What's it actually saying? Is 17. I've got this part and this part done. Is 17. But what is 17? 5 less than twice a number. So how am I going to write this out? Anybody have any ideas?
Minus 5.
Something minus 5.
2n minus 5.
2n minus 5. Twice a number, and then it's 5 less than that. 5 less than that. Does everybody see that it's important that I did not write it like this? Because guess what? This becomes the negative number, and this is the positive. That's not what we want, because you'll get the total wrong answer. So does everybody see 5 less than this? So if I have a number and I want 5 less than that, this is how I would write it. Everybody gets that? Okay, now, so this is my equation that I used in this phrase to answer. Okay, so what will I have to do now? Who remembers?
Get the n by itself.
We want the n by itself. But right now it's with the 2, so we're going to leave it with the 2. Let's go in and move this minus 5 across the equals. Remember what to do when that happens? How do I get rid of that?
Make it plus 5.
Plus 5. I'm going to move it across the equals, which makes it plus 5. Okay? So now my answer so far is 2n equals 17 plus 5 is 22, right?
So,
okay? And so now it says 2 times what equals 22?
11.
11. N equals 11. Okay? So we came up, using the phrase, came up with an equation. And then we answered the equation. Now, you may not always use N's. Sometimes they'll put X's, A's, whatever letter they want. Okay, so don't be confused if they start using different letters. It's not a big deal. Okay? All right. Then they kind of like switch a little bit. Okay, and they have this little thing right here drawn. And here's what they tell me. I have a 2X and an X. Okay, go in and write that down. Okay, what do we know about a straight line?
It's 180.
So this plus this equals 180. Is that fair to say? This plus this angle equals 180, so guess what I'm going to write? 2X plus X equals 180. Does everybody see how I came up with that equation? Yeah, I took 2X plus this amount is going to equal 180. Okay? Anybody remember when I'm adding X's, okay, what happens? Squaring is multiplying because the units multiply, or the X's multiply. But adding, it's be like I have 5 feet plus 4 feet. I don't make the feet squared.
3X. It'd be 3X.
So it's going to become 3X. So this will be a 1. Okay, so when you're adding, you don't multiply the X's. You just add them, okay? So 2X, so it's like 2 elephants plus 1 elephant makes 3 elephants. Remember that rule that we were kind of working with, the elephants and the animals and all that? So now I have 3X equals 180. So what is this saying? 3 times what equals 180?
So 180 divided by 3.
What would X be? 180 divided by 3? Which
60.
would, yes. So I would divide by 3, and X would equal 60 degrees. So this angle, 60 degrees, and this angle, 60 times 2, which is?
120.
Does 120 plus 60 equal 180? Ding, ding, ding. We've got it right. Everybody understand how we did that? It actually became pretty simple once we learned how to do that. Right? Okay, that's lesson 101.